8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Command engine start. 2, 1.
With the second human spaceflight crew. What a launch. We are on our way to Max Q, the first milestone here on its flight to space. Obviously, with the altimeter at the base of the screen, as well as the speedometer, they are gaining speed on their climb to space. We have confirmed max Q. This is when the aerodynamic stresses on the vehicle were at their maximum. Thank you again, everybody, for joining us live for New Shepard's second human flight with Audrey Powers, William Shatner, our customers Glenn DeVries and Chris Bosshausen on board. They are well on their way to space so far. A nominal flight, a clean burn on our Blue Engine 3.
You're looking at a live shot of Blue Origin. Its second launch here, taking William Shatner and 3 other individuals to space. Let's get the update with Bloomberg's Ed Ludlow joining us. Hey, Ed, what are we looking at right now?
Yeah, so they're traveling to a distance of 62 miles above the Earth. That's their apogee, their highest point. And any moment now, the capsule that sits on top of the booster will separate off and carry on the rest of that journey. That happens at around 47 miles above the Earth. You can see that they're traveling at a speed of around 1,600 miles an hour under intense G-force. And very soon after that separation, that's when the crew will be instructed to unbuckle, unharness from their seats for literally what is just a couple of minutes, just a few minutes of weightlessness. And as we know from the previous mission in July with Jeff Bezos, his brother, Wally Funk and Oliver Damon, they'll have the opportunity to do somersaults, high-five each other, chuck a ping pong ball around, and whatever it is that one wants to do in space when one is up there for a couple of minutes. But it's very short, and the critical safety element is that when the control room signals in and crew member 7, who's their support auxiliary crew member on the ground, chimes in that they have to get back into their seats, then they do, because 62 miles above the Earth is technically space, right? It's above the Kármán line, but it's still within Earth's gravitational pull. And the capsule will start to descend back down to Earth and then start to pick up its speed and even greater force than it did on the way up. So they'll be under immense stress, and it's important they're back in their seats at that point.
Ed, you talk about them being under immense stress. William Shatner is in his 90s. If he can tolerate this, I'm assuming that most people can tolerate this. This isn't completely sort of debilitating stress that they're coming under. As you say, 3G, that's quite a lot, 3 times Earth gravitational force, but nevertheless manageable. And I'm wondering what that tells us about the kind of the available pool of people that could potentially go up and replicate what they're doing today.
This is the product guide. This is what Blue Origin designed this to be, that they want anyone to be able to fly with minimal training up to that 62 miles apogee. You know, the crew arrived about 3 days before launch. The training largely involves the basics, right? Getting in and out the seat, doing the harness, how to respond in the event of an emergency. That said, in an emergency, the system is largely autonomous, right? On the way up, for example, during launch, it's designed to jettison the capsule to a safe distance from the booster. One of the requirements is that any crew member can climb 7 flights of stairs in under 90 seconds. I'm not entirely sure that I can climb 7 flights of stairs in under 90 seconds. And but that was the minimum standard in order to be able to go up. So we would imagine that William Shatner was able to pass that. In terms of the demand, we simply just don't know. We know from SpaceX, for example, that they are supply constrained. They basically said after the mission in Florida, which was a 3-day mission at a much higher altitude, that they hoped to potentially do 4 to 6 flights over the next 12 to 18 months, but that they had a massive backlog of willing paying customers. We haven't had the same signals from Blue Origin, so we just don't know. But remember, on board this capsule, only 2 of the crew are paying customers. The other 2 are being subsidized or paid for by Blue Origin and Bezos.
And just to recap here, you're looking at a live shot of Blue Origin, the NNS-18. 4 people on board, 1 including William Shatner, above space at this moment. All right, Ed, just refresh again. What are we looking at?
So on the left-hand side of your screen, you have the booster coming back down to Earth. You know, we're approaching, several minutes into the mission, and at around the 7-minute 30 mark, you'll see the booster land, right? At the moment, it's using aerodynamics. You can see those aft fins on the bottom of your screen that basically position the rocket to slow it down using Earth's atmosphere, the atmospheric resistance, and when it reaches a few thousand feet above the Earth, it will deploy those engines. You'll see that any moment now with the engines reignite with a quick burst to slow it down. The clamp feet will then deploy on the bottom of the booster, and it will land on the landing pad, which I think just came into vision just now. Let's listen in for a quick second. There you have it, like CGI, landing back in Van Horn, Texas, on the landing pad.